News. Wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Welcome to Marketing Edge on TV, Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, brand in focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. I am Oluwabukola Omoni. Stay tuned.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and on the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world.
The need for media practitioners, owners, content providers, outdoor professionals, and other stakeholders in the advertising and media buying business to embrace collaboration, audience measurement, data accuracy was the crux of the message by diverse speakers at the just concluded media conference organized by Media Independent Practitioner Association of Nigeria, MIPAN. The conference, with the theme Navigating the Future of Media Sales Within a Tough Economic Landscape, was held at Radisson Blu Hotel, GRA, Lagos, with speakers across sectors in media and advertising space, dishing out cutting-edge tactics and strategies needed to navigate the economic landscape. Speaking during the event, Femi Adelisi, President MIPAN, noted that in such a period when the economy of the country is challenged, it is important for all the players to know what the concerns of the brand owners, media partners, and media buyers are to prefer solutions. Some of the speakers also emphasized the need for professionals to understand the essence of value, strategic targeting, and placement in content creation.
We just need to be sure that our content is well researched, is intentional, and is constructive, and is something of relevance to the audience. Once that is delivered, you can be rest assured that brand will have no choice than to follow suit.
Amidst an atmosphere of elegance and sophistication, Victoria Abiolajayi, the newly appointed MD-CEO of TVC, has officially unveiled her highly anticipated book titled The Precision-Led Woman, a definitive guide to landing leadership positions. The book, which has already garnered great acclaim from notable executives across the globe, reflects Ajayi's commitment to empowering women and positioning them for excellence in leadership roles. Reflecting on the threefold inspiration behind the book, Ajayi emphasized its relevance for women, corporations, and society at large.
I want you to remember that you're a masterpiece carefully crafted by our maker for greatness. You are designed for accomplishment and engineered for success. Hence, the world needs your leadership.
The glamorous event held at the lush Ebony Life Place in Lagos and was attended by an illustrious gathering of top executives, business leaders, and corporate officials, including Yemi Adefarako, Executive Vice Chairman of TVC Communications, Balaon Olalemi, COO of TVC Communications, and Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, former Chairman of First Bank, amongst others.
And not enough people are writing. So I celebrate every woman who's walked the journey, who is willing to share.
Leading investment company in Africa, Ers Holdings, has recently launched its subsidiary and technology arm. Ers Technologies, a world-class digital transformation company poised to set a new course in the technology sector in Africa. Ers Technologies, bound by a vision to drive Africa's digital transformation through innovative and locally tailored solutions, is set to deliver non-transactional value to Africa and the world at large. Clary Green, the group head of marketing and corporate communications for Ers Holdings, explained how the tech hub is leveraging marketing and media channels to reach its target audience and cut across the local and cultural nuances. She said the marketing activities of Ers Technologies will center around showcasing the brand and its offerings while adding that it was inspired based on sites received from audience, as it has been a great tool for sensitizing its wider audience.
That was brand news. Next is branding focus right after the break.
Hello, my bro. Man, the road is so heavy here. And there's so much traffic. I think we should postpone, huh?
Not a chance. Aisha.
We don't quit, guys. I'll be there.
Done.
Two files received.
I'm on my way. Take first right in 50 meters and you're there.
Copy that. Aisha, where are you?
Guess where?
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Move. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Runway X.
The future of fashion showcasing.
Very impressive. How did you pull that off?
With Nigeria's top tech talents.
And Globe.
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data. Glow with pride.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
In an era defined by digital connectivity, the demand for proficient digital marketing skills have surged exponentially, mirroring the global transition towards online platforms for communication, commerce, and engagement. However, despite the escalating need, a substantial gap in digital marketing competencies persists, presenting a formidable challenge for individuals and economies worldwide. Nigeria, as Africa's largest economy, finds itself at the forefront of this challenge, yet uniquely positioned to harness the potential of its youthful population to bridge the gap and propel economic growth through digital marketing. Prior to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the digital marketing skills gap was already evident, albeit manageable. However, the pandemic acted as a catalyst, accelerating the need for digital transformation across industries and exacerbating the existing skills deficit. Research conducted by Salesforce and Rand Europe underscores the magnitude of this gap, projecting potential GDP losses of up to $11.5 trillion across G20 countries due to insufficient digital skills. By 2030, an estimated 230 million jobs across Africa are expected to require digital skills, highlighting the urgent need to equip the workforce with relevant competencies to thrive in an increasingly digitized world. Within this skill gap lies a promising opportunity for Nigerian youth. Equipping them with digital marketing proficiency not only addresses domestic demand, but also positions them as competitive players in the global marketplace. With Nigerians' GDP projected to surpass $487.27 billion by the end of 2024, and digital revenues anticipated to reach $16.43 billion by 2025, the significance of digital marketing skills in driving economic growth cannot be overstated. Moreover, as internet penetration rates continue to rise, an additional 35 million Nigerians are expected to gain online access by 2026, further amplifying the demand for digital marketing expertise. This underscores the imperative of nurturing and developing a skilled workforce capable of capitalizing on emerging digital opportunities. Nigeria's demographic dividend, characterized by a youthful population with an average age of 18, present a compelling advantage in addressing the digital skills gap. Many of these young Nigerians are digital natives. By investing in digital marketing education and training initiatives, Nigeria can empower its youth to lead the country's digital transformation while addressing the pressing issue of youth unemployment.
Welcome back. Next is Industry Conversation, where we have discussions with industry thought leaders. My guest today is a creative and the founder of a fast-rising creative agency in Nigeria. Join me after the break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Welcome back to Industry Conversation. My guest today is the founder and CEO of Ideas Origin Media, Mr. Israel OBATUNDE. Glad to have you join us on the program, sir.
Glad to have you around.
All right, great. So let's start with your assessment of the integrated marketing communications, generally. What is your assessment in recent times?
I think there have been a lot of improvement. The IMC space has been overwhelmingly a bit saturated. Yeah, saturated. But the good thing is the introduction of a couple of things like the rise in use of technology and of course collaborations and partnerships is making things a lot better.
Okay.
Most times before now we had a bit of bricks and walls here and there.
Okay.
But because of our challenges, even as a nation, the economic realities has allowed, made everyone, especially professionals and practitioners, to invent creative ways to practice better, introducing flexibility, introducing adaptability, because if you don't adapt in this age and time, extinction is just at the door.
Okay, great. So let's talk about the Nigeria creative industry now, sort of narrow it down a bit. Now, what would you say is, evaluation of that segment of the IMC?
The advertising space in Nigeria is still developing. It is a bitter reality compared to a couple of, practices or industries outside Nigeria. As professionals, we are exposed to a lot of tools, a lot of opportunities outside, but as an industry, there's still a lot to come to do, and it all goes back again to collaboration and partnership. If the space is going to grow more than what we can see now, it goes back to how we are able to introduce or allow ourselves to be introduced to the better ways of practicing, because from the word integrated, it means how can we easily solve problems from one hand to the other without limiting ourselves to a particular space. If we are just focusing too much on the traditional means of doing things, then we'll keep getting the same result. If we are overwhelmingly focusing on the digital means of solving things, or we now decide to say everything must be led by influential marketing, then of course we're also going to create more problems. But the easier we learn and do things better by going through all these processes without giving too much priority to one or the other, but the solution we want to achieve, then the better we'll get. And I think over time we are beginning to realize that as an industry.
Oh, great. Well, that was well said. So let's talk about, still talking about the creative, industry now. How well would you say Nigeria creative agencies, how well are they doing in terms of practice and brand management?
That's a huge topic because I can't speak for everyone. I can't probably speak for myself and my agency. One of the things we've been able to take care on time is bureaucracy. As much as bureaucracy is good, it can also affect top-notch creativity and innovation, because if there are so many blocks in terms of chains of command and report of who you report to, a junior that is so fantastic in thinking might not be able to find the opportunity one day to eventually become the best in the industry. So some of the things we are able to learn fast is to ensure that brand management is part and parcel of everything we do. Brand management is more like client management. A creative should be able to understand and manage clients, whether the brand management people are there or not, and that is one of the success that I am also enjoying. I started my career as a creative person. Today I'm running a business successfully by the grace of God. It tells how much I've been able to, innovate and evolve. And it's because some people gave me the opportunity to. While I was growing, I learned the financial part of this business. I learned the brand management part of this business. I learned almost every part of it, the strategic part of it. So as a result, I was able to offer holistic service as a person, as a brand, and now as an agency. So brand management is key and shouldn't be limited to the people called brand managers. We should all be brand managers, and it is how open we get to be. Emotional intelligence is very very critical in brand management. If you don't have the ability to let go of ideas, like you're holding it to chest, you're holding everything, it should be your ways, you might not survive. So it's critical for us to adapt as a creative agency into good management.
Now, in light of all those challenges or your assessment, how would you say Nigerian professionals in the advertising market, how are they positioned, or how would you rate them alongside their counterparts in other parts of the globe?
Another big question. To be honest, to be fair, we have the best of brains.
Oh wow!
Yeah, trust me. I've worked with a couple of. Been practicing this for the past 10 to 15 years. Yeah, I've worked with great minds globally and outside this country. However, I've also seen fantastic people in this business. I think limitations is platform. The limitations is access to tools and the right information. But in terms of manpower, in terms of labor, in terms of people who are willing and really giving in the best, we have good minds here. And also it's just like, I can put it as a scenario of, if you move a couple of Nigerians, imagine when some Nigerians leave this place and travel out of the country. You see how fly they go. In the health sector, in the engineering sector, you see how fantastic they grow, because they get there and they see what they have actually been sleeping for 3 days to do. There's one tool that can do it for them. There's a machine that can do it for them. So they work better because they've actually been doing the dry run without the machine. So now they have a two-way machine that can help them. So you see them fly so high, right? So it's a thing of, we have great minds here. We have, some of us, we know what we had to do to get here with no help at all. And we are here. So, and I know if some of the people I also know have access to the right things, they will even fly better. So we have good minds. It's just pushing ourselves more. We also need that pushing. Actually, we need that pushing. We need discipline. Because I'll be fair, sometimes when you deal with counterparts outside the country, you see how disciplined they are, time management, commitment to doing things, and they get it done. And sometimes if you have to engage people here, you literally have to be running after them.
This, I guess, is the African time, or
discipline.
Well, discipline. That was what I said. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about technology. Now, it's no doubt that there are a myriad of challenges in the sector, in the industry. Now, how well do you think professionals in the industry are leveraging technology in the execution of projects?
Technology is expensive, right? As much as it's two ways, I'll call it two-edged swords. We have instances where people really want to make use of technology and there is no access to it, and we have instances where they don't even want to because it's expensive to do.
There's a tight budget.
Exactly. So if you want to propose some ideas to your clients, and you are going to be running to 500 million, and guess what? The client has not even made a quarter of that in the year. You wouldn't expect them to put or invest their money into it. So it goes back again to, what can we do with what we have? Okay. So that is why, as an industry, to be a very much more better cause, if there is a collaborative effort to investing into technology, whatsoever we are having today, in the likes of the use of good phones like your Apple, like good laptops and the like, some people decided to invest into it and make it affordable and reachable for others. So it goes back to a sense of owning up to make things affordable and easy for. There are some foundations here in the US, for example, that all they take care of is just to give access for people to have the best of technology. How many of that do we have in Africa?
Okay.
Talk less of Nigeria. Not even when businesses are living global.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about emerging trends. Last year, we know that there were, lots of new trends. Now, what do we expect to see this year? And, how can creatives, or how are creatives in the industry embracing this trend, to foster better creativity?
Last year, we had a couple of trends. I mean, if I would go to what we had with the AI, it's still ongoing trend. And I think it's getting better. I mean, I don't know if you've heard about Sora. Sora is a new platform where you can actually type words and it produces a movie for you.
Wow.
Yeah, a video footage is going to produce. It was scary. When Tyler Perry reviewed it, it was like, come on, this is this is something else. And a couple of guys revised it. So we are still trying to say, some people are still feeling if mid judges and the likes will not take the job of a couple of graphics and art director guys. But now we have a movie producing AI platform. That says a lot about what is coming. That says a lot. Now we have was Apple releasing the what's it called? The VAR thing, where you can actually operate a lot of things without necessarily touching your phone. So it says a lot about emerging technology. There are people that are inventing and reinventing. So the best way to approach this is never to stay on the spot. You've got to continue to learn more. You've got to continue to be ready to adapt more. So a couple of technologies are coming in. Even in the research space, there are new ways of doing things right now in terms of making things faster. I have a couple of friends that, I won't mention the country, that so much mention how everything is so infused. Unlike here in Africa or Nigeria, if you need to do research, you have to be going from street to street. Everything is really, really so technologically driven that if you need any form of research done in any part of the state in that country, you just need to type it in the software. Wow. And responses will start flowing. So better ways are going to become, emerging trends are going to be happening in terms of also how we approach campaigns, how we do things, how we talk online. There are better ways. Earlier on this year, we had no grief for anybody.
I think it's still ongoing.
It's still on.
It's still ongoing.
And there was a lot of ways that influenced our communication, our approach to things. The humor side of us, you can never remove that. So a lot of things are still unveiling. And look at how people adapted to the technology realities. Somebody I saw online a couple of weeks ago said, no matter how you feel in Nigeria, just get sub. And go online. Just have data. Your
problems will go away.
And go online, you laugh and laugh and laugh. So the question is, how do we want to make use of all of this to solve problems? To approach briefs from how we used to do it, because you can never do it how we used to do it again. And that is the reality of what we are able, been asked a lot of times, how we are able to grow fast, how we're able to get this kind of visibility, how we are able to, somewhat challenge the status quo. And it's just simple. There is somebody crying somewhere that his product is not being sold. There's somebody not happy that his services are not being offered, being asked for, because somebody is doing it the same way they've been doing it for them for the past years. And we are just we just want to make a difference. We just want to do things differently. We say, what, just try this, just try this, just try this. And you get solutions, and we are stuck to you guys. We like your vibe, we like your energy, so it goes back to the reality is on ground. How do you want to use it to solve the client's problem, to solve the brand's problem. And from what we have seen so far, trends is emerging and will continue to emerge, but it must not catch us on guard.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
And that's much we can take on this week's episode of Marketing Edge on TV. Join us same time next week for the concluding part of our conversation with Israel OBATUNDE. I'm Oluwabukola Omoni. Bye for now.